Have you ever woken up feeling just a little off, maybe a bit dizzy, slightly weak, or mentally foggy and thought it's probably nothing? If you're over 60, it's time to stop brushing off those symptoms because what seems small could be your brain sending you an urgent warning. As a brain doctor, I've spent decades studying what happens in the first hour after waking. If you're still watching, you care about your health or someone you love, subscribe to Senior Health Truth and take control of your mornings and your future. And what I've discovered is shocking. One simple automatic habit, something most people do without even thinking, is silently increasing stroke risk every single morning. Today, we're going to break it all down. What exactly is happening in your brain after you wake up? What are the habits that put you in danger? And most importantly, how can you take control of your mornings to protect your brain, your heart, and your independence? Stick with me because these aren't just tips, they are life-saving changes, especially for older adults. Let's begin with the most overlooked risk of all, how you get out of bed. Most people, especially as they get older, think they're doing fine by simply waking up early, maybe stretching a little and starting their day. But the truth is, the way you transition from lying down to standing up could be the most dangerous moment of your day. Why? It has everything to do with something called orthostatic hypotension, a sudden drop in blood pressure when you stand up. When you sleep, your body is horizontal. Your blood is evenly distributed. But when you sit or stand, gravity pulls blood toward your legs. For young people, blood vessels quickly adjust, but in older adults, these vessels are stiffer. They don't respond as fast. That means your brain doesn't get the oxygen it needs right when it needs it most. What happens then? You might feel dizzy. You might feel weak or nothing at all until one day that drop in oxygen leads to a stroke. And this is the part that truly shocked me in my research. It's not just the act of standing up quickly, it's what comes next. When your brain doesn't get enough oxygen first thing in the morning, your chances of developing a mini stroke, what we call a transient ischemic attack, skyrocket. These are often silent. You might feel a little off, slur a word, or feel momentarily confused. Then it goes away, but that doesn't mean you're safe. It means the clock has started ticking. The good news? This is preventable. When you wake up, do not jump out of bed. Instead, take a minute, sit up slowly, let your feet dangle, then slowly rise. This simple pause gives your body time to stabilize your blood pressure and oxygen levels. It may feel like nothing, but to your brain, it's everything. Now let's talk about another silent danger: dehydration. After 6, 7, sometimes even 8 hours of sleep, your body wakes up thirsty. You've lost water through breathing, sweating, even through the skin. And when your body is dehydrated, your blood gets thicker. That means it moves more slowly. It puts more pressure on your heart, and it can cause clots, one of the leading causes of stroke. But here's what really concerns me. Most older adults don't feel thirsty in the morning, and even fewer reach for water first thing. Instead, they head straight for the coffee pot. Now, don't get me wrong, coffee can be fine in moderation, but drinking coffee on an empty stomach, especially before rehydrating, is like pouring jet fuel into a car that's almost out of oil. It gives you that jolt, but it also constricts your blood vessels, raises your blood pressure, and further dehydrates you. So, if you're serious about protecting your brain, start every day with a glass of water. Not juice, not coffee, just water. I often recommend adding a small pinch of sea salt and a squeeze of lemon. Why? Because as we age, we also lose electrolytes overnight, and that salt lemon combo helps restore the balance gently, supporting both hydration and brain function. Still with me? Let's keep going. What you eat or don't eat after waking is another piece of the puzzle. Now, I've seen countless seniors start their day with things like cereal, toast, or a muffin. These are marketed as healthy, they're quick, easy, familiar. But here's the truth. Most common breakfast items are loaded with sodium, even the ones that don't taste salty. Cereals, bread, breakfast bars, many contain hidden salts, which can push your blood pressure up in the morning exactly when your heart and brain are trying to adjust to the change in posture and circulation. This is dangerous. High sodium diets, especially first thing in the day, harden your arteries over time and increase your risk of both ischemic and hemorrhagic stroke. So, what do I recommend? Instead of processed breakfast items, go for something brain friendly. Think plain oatmeal topped with fresh berries and a few unsalted walnuts, or two boiled eggs with half an avocado and some leafy greens. These meals are rich in healthy fats, fiber, and natural antioxidants, and they help regulate your blood sugar too, which is another key to brain health. Now let's circle back to something more subtle, but just as critical. Dizziness, numbness, trouble speaking, weakness in one arm. These are not just signs of aging. These are potential signs of mini strokes, and they often show up in the morning. Why the morning? Because after sleep, your body goes through a natural rise in cortisol, your stress hormone. Blood pressure also tends to peak early in the day. Combine that with dehydration, poor circulation, or vascular stiffness, and the risk of stroke becomes very real. If you notice any of these symptoms, even if they go away within minutes, do not ignore them. Get checked immediately. Many full strokes are preceded by these early warning signs, and catching them in time can save your brain and your life. Now let's talk about medication. If you're on medication for blood pressure, cholesterol, or blood thinners, timing is everything. Some meds work best when taken in the morning, others at night. But the key is consistency. Skipping a dose, taking it at the wrong time, or mixing it with the wrong fluids can render it ineffective or worse, increase your stroke risk. For example, never take medication with grapefruit juice unless your doctor says it's okay. Grapefruit can interfere with enzymes in your liver and change the way drugs are absorbed. Set reminders. Use pill organizers. Create a simple morning routine around your medication. Your brain will thank you. And finally, something almost no one talks about, but it's crucial. Go to the bathroom when you wake up. Do not delay. Why? Holding your bladder increases adrenaline and noradrenaline levels, your body's stress hormones. This spikes your blood pressure, increases your heart rate, and raises your risk of arrhythmias, irregular heartbeats, that can lead to blood clots and strokes. I know it sounds simple, but this tiny morning habit, going to the bathroom promptly, can make a meaningful difference in your vascular health. So let's bring it all together. You want to protect your brain as you age. You don't need a complicated plan. You need a smart, gentle, mindful morning routine. Sit up slowly. Drink water before anything else. Eat real food, not processed junk. Pay attention to your body, sits, warning signs. Take medications consistently and correctly, and go to the bathroom when your body tells you to. These are small actions, but over weeks, months, and years, they build a foundation of brain protection, circulation, support, and independence. Stroke doesn't always come with a big warning, but your habits whisper the risk long before it shouts. Listen to those whispers. Make your mornings intentional and never underestimate the power of the first hour of your day. Now that we've covered the foundational habits that protect your brain first thing in the morning, let's dig deeper, because it's not just about what you avoid, it's about what you actively do. And surprisingly, one of the biggest threats to your brain isn't what's on your plate or how fast you get out of bed. It's stress, and stress, especially in the morning, is incredibly toxic to the aging brain. Many seniors wake up already carrying worry, bills, medications, aches and pains, family issues. These mental loads start early, but here's the issue. The brain doesn't separate emotional stress from physical threat. That means if your day begins with anxiety or pressure, your brain reacts as if you're under attack. What happens next? The body releases cortisol and adrenaline, your fight or flight hormones. These raise your blood pressure, thicken your blood, and constrict your vessels, all major contributors to stroke and heart attacks. And for seniors with vulnerable arteries and sensitive blood flow, this internal surge can be catastrophic. If you are still watching, your journey to a healthier, stronger you has already begun. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss another step. Let's walk this path together, one smart habit at a time. That's why stress management, especially in the morning, isn't just good for mental health. It's critical for brain protection. I often tell patients, your brain isn't just an organ, it's a garden. And stress is like drought and disease combined. It chokes off growth, kills circulation, and damages every part of you. So what can you do about it? Let's walk through 3 proactive ways to manage morning stress and protect your brain. 1, controlled breathing. This may sound basic, but the science behind it is profound. When you take deep, slow breaths after waking through your nose into your belly, then exhale slowly, you trigger the parasympathetic nervous system. This calms your heart, dilates your blood vessels, and stabilizes blood pressure. And most importantly, it rebalances your brain. Start with just 3 minutes of slow, deep breathing after waking, not meditation. Not complicated. Just focus on your breath. Inhale for a count of 4, hold for 2, exhale for 6. That's it. Many seniors have told me this one habit alone transformed their mornings. They feel steadier, calmer, clearer, less reactive. And yes, it's helping lower their stroke risk. 2, grounding activities. Right after breathing, introduce a grounding habit, something that doesn't involve screens, headlines, or noise. For some, it's stretching lightly by the window. For others, it's sipping warm water while looking outside. Some write down 3 things they're grateful for. The key is to start the day with control, not chaos. Why does this matter? Because when your nervous system starts the day in a grounded state, your vascular system follows, your arteries stay relaxed, your blood moves freely, your brain receives the oxygen it needs. Stroke risk doesn't just begin in the arteries, it begins in the nervous system that controls them. 3. Avoid morning information overload. This may be controversial, but I'm going to say it anyway. Stop checking the news, emails, or social media first thing in the morning. Why? Because your brain is most impressionable during the first 30 minutes after waking. That's when your subconscious is still active and your prefrontal cortex, the rational part, is still warming up. Flooding it with stressful headlines, financial worries, or arguments online sets your entire stress axis into motion. Instead, wait. Give your brain time to stabilize before letting the world in. Your neurons, your blood vessels, your cognitive reserve, they all perform better when you don't overload them too early. Let's shift gears now and talk about another overlooked but critical factor in stroke prevention: movement. You've probably heard that exercise helps prevent heart disease and diabetes. But what you may not know is that gentle, consistent morning movement can improve cerebral blood flow, reduce clotting, and stabilize brain pressure, especially in older adults. Now, I'm not talking about hitting the gym at 6 a.m. or running a mile, as I'm talking about micro movements, just 5 to 10 minutes of low impact motion that signals your body we set her awake, we set her circulating, let setters get the brain what it needs. Here are 3 examples. On seated leg lifts. While sitting on the edge of your bed or a sturdy chair, lift one leg slowly and hold for 3 seconds. Lower, then switch legs. Do this 10 times each side. This wakes up your venous system, improves return blood flow from your lower limbs, and prevents the pooling of blood in the legs, a key risk for clot formation in seniors. 2. Arm circles. Stand or sit upright. Slowly rotate your arms forward in wide circles, then reverse direction. This opens up your shoulders, activates upper body circulation, and stimulates blood flow to the brain. Even 2 minutes of this gets your blood moving without causing fatigue or imbalance. 3. Neck mobility. Turn your head gently side to side, up and down, then do small, slow circles. This helps keep vertebral arteries open, which supply blood to critical brain regions like the brainstem and cerebellum. Stiff necks don't just cause discomfort, they restrict blood flow. And in older adults, this restriction can become dangerous. Now, you might be asking, what if I have mobility issues or arthritis? The answer is simple. Do what you can, not what you can't. Even small movements are signals to your body to activate circulation. Let's go even deeper. Your brain is incredibly sensitive to glucose and insulin levels. That's why what and when you eat, especially in the morning, matters. We already discussed avoiding high sodium foods, but let's go further. Breakfast that causes a blood sugar spike can lead to a crash an hour later, and that crash is often mistaken for fatigue, dizziness, or weakness, exactly the kind of symptoms you don't want to risk ignoring, especially if they mask a more serious vascular issue. So here sits the ideal approach. Start your day with protein and healthy fats. These stabilize blood sugar, support neurotransmitter production, and keep you mentally sharp. Avoid added sugars and refined carbs in the first meal. They increase inflammation, raise triglycerides, and spike your risk for both stroke and dementia. Time your meals consistently. Your brain thrives on rhythm. Erratic eating patterns disrupt not only blood sugar, but cortisol and blood pressure levels. Still with me? Good? Because we are almost done, let's talk about sleep the night before. Why does this matter in a video about morning habits? Because poor sleep directly affects your brain, sits vascular health the next morning. If you sleep poorly, you sit more likely to wake with elevated blood pressure, experience fogginess or delayed motor function, ignore early warning signs of a stroke, skip your usual hydration or movement routines, the cycle compounds. So, improving your night habits supports your morning protection. Go to bed at a consistent time. Avoid screens before sleep. Keep the bedroom cool and dark. Minimize alcohol or heavy meals before bed. You don't just prevent stroke in the morning, you start preventing it the night before. To close, let's summarize this entire video in one thought. Your mornings are either a silent threat or a powerful shield. Every action you take when you wake up sends a message to your brain. That message can say, I set, I'm rushing, I set, I'm stressed, I set, I'm out of balance. Or it can say, I set, I'm calm, I set, I'm steady, I set, I'm protecting my brain. You don't need to change your whole life. Just 5-10 minutes of conscious action each morning can protect your mind, your memory, and your mobility for years to come. So let me ask you, tomorrow morning, will you jump out of bed and grab coffee? Or will you sit up slowly, breathe, hydrate, move, and choose a breakfast that protects your most valuable organ, your brain? That choice is yours, and it begins the moment you open your eyes. Let's dive further into the morning routine. For many seniors, it's a time when changes can be subtle, but consequences are huge. As a brain doctor, I've seen small shifts in how mornings begin when implemented consistently translate into dramatically better brain health down the road. Today, we go beyond the basics and build a richer, more comprehensive routine. Morning environment set the stage for safety and calm. Your physical start to the day matters. Consider what your bedroom and bathroom look like in that critical first half hour. Here sits as how minor adjustments can make a major difference. Clear the path. Remove rugs or tripping hazards. Dress warmly at night so you don't fumble in the dark. Night lights near the bathroom, not just convenient, they reduce the risk of falls and heart-pounding fright during middle-of-the-night trips. Organize your medications and water. Bedside glass of water, pill organizer visible. This instant visual cue reminds your brain to drink, to take meds, to start right. Organization isn't just about tidiness, it's about building muscle memory for good habits. If you are still watching, you already know the power of small changes. Subscribe to Senior Health Truth and turn today's insight into tomorrow's better life. Your brain, your body, and your future will thank you. Nature sounds or gentle music. Instead of alarms that jolt you awake, rely on soft nature sounds or gentle music. Startle-free wake-ups keep cortisol low and blood pressure from spiking. Think birdsong, bamboo chimes, something soothing and steady. Optional add-on, morning meditation for mental resilience. If you stir feeling ready to deepen the routine, consider a 5-minute morning meditation. Not mindfulness apps, unless they stir offline and easy to start. Instead, a simple quiet moment. Sit or lie comfortably. Focus on your breath. When thoughts arise, gently return attention to your breathing. This practice lowers morning stress hormones, improves attention, and primes your brain to stay resilient throughout the day. Think of it as a shield built before ground is given. Morning walk, sunshine for circulation and mood. After hydration, movement, and breakfast, but before caffeine, it sets ideal to get a few minutes of sunlight, even 10, 15 minutes walking outside. Boosts vitamin D, stimulates nitric oxide production, a chemical that dilates blood vessels, supporting healthy circulation, improves mood, and signal to your circadian rhythm that the day has begun. This ritual doesn't need to be intense. A slow loop around the yard or block is perfect. Over time, this helps stabilize morning blood pressure and supports a sharper mind. Tracking blood pressure at home. If you're on blood pressure medication or if you have had a TIA, it's worth tracking readings at home. A reliable cuff used consistently after your morning routine offers valuable feedback. What sets your awake blood pressure? Did your new hydration or movement shift it? Is it trending upward or ideally downward over time? Share this journal with your physician. It gives them real data and lets you fine-tune the morning steps for better results. This pattern helps prevent sudden spikes that can damage brain vessels or trigger stroke. Strength training for vascular and brain health. I've made exercise sound simple, but there's even more value in adding a short strength routine, even with zero equipment. Try 5-10 slow squats or chair sit stands, engages core, glutes, and leg muscles. 5 wall push-ups to open the chest and improve circulation. 10 calf raises to energize venous return. Added strength improves balance, prevents falls, and reduces vascular resistance. You're building more than muscles, the underlying system that supports brain health every minute. Social connection. Talk with a purpose. Morning doesn't have to be isolation. Connect with a loved one face to face, phone or video. Share 2 things you're grateful for. Ask about their day. Keep the conversation light and supportive. Social interaction lowers stress markers, improves mood, and signals your brain that it's safe and engaged. We tend to overlook this in seniors as a luxury, but social connection is a lifesaver, literally. Even 5 minutes sets a tone of stability and care. Active mental engagement. After your gratitude chat, take on a mental boost exercise. Do a crossword or Sudoku. Read 1 page from a book, then summarize it aloud. Practice a second language greeting, y.g. coma, buenos dias. These aren't time-consuming, they're intentional mental placeholders. They engage your cognitive reserves early in the day, build neuron strength, and expand mental flexibility. Think of it as brain vitamins daily and dosing properly. Consistent sleep and wake times. Let me circle back to an important point. Sleep hygiene from the night before is as critical as your morning routine. The two work hand in hand. Set a bedtime and wake time you can stick to, even on weekends. This consistency stabilizes cortisol rhythms, reduces morning blood pressure surges, improves mental coherence, prevents late-night bathroom allowance, which spikes morning urination. If sleep is poor, mornings are shaky, so protect both together every night and every day. How to empower caregivers and family members. If you If you're caring for a senior relative or if one cares for you, these routines can feel overwhelming at first. That SIP's okay. You don't need perfection, you need consistency. Here, SIPs how to bring others in as allies. Chart the start of the day. Caregivers track morning routines for a week, how hydration, meds, movement, and breakfast align. Note improvements. Did dizziness drop? Was blood pressure more stable? Did morning clarity improve? Build a supportive plan. Caregivers prompt each step gently. Let's have your glass of water first. Gradually, routines become muscle memory. Celebrate small wins. Great job, your blood pressure is down 5 points today, or you had no dizziness this morning. Positive reinforcement makes it stick. Real case studies, what I've seen in practice. I've seen these routines transform mornings. Mrs. Thompson, 72, used to feel dizzy whenever she stood. After 6 weeks of systematic, slow getting up, hydration, and water first, dizziness nearly vanished and a planned TIA visit was avoided. Mr. Lee, 68, would chomp toast and hit Gmail at 6 a.m., then collapse by 10:30 with brain fog, replacing toast with eggs, delaying email for 30 minutes, adding a gratitude moment, and exercising lightly flipped his mornings. He's now productive, clear, and sustained. One pattern is undeniable. When seniors conquer the first 60 minutes, they lay the foundation for stroke resilience, thinking clarity, and functional mobility. This isn't prevention alone, it's empowerment. Your brain is the CEO, not chance or age. If you've already built parts of this routine, well done. Add one more step this week and watch how mornings get smoother. If none of this sounds familiar, start small, pick the easiest step, do it tomorrow. Then add the next. Momentum builds fast. And remember, this channel is here to help you, not overwhelm you. Over the coming weeks, we'll explore bedside vestibular exercises, midday hydration strategies, fall prevention, and more. But it all starts with the morning. Building a brain-strong routine isn't optional, it's essential. Your mornings are your anchor, and when your anchor is strong, your entire day, life, and brain stand stronger for it.